On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Bronsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah. The late. Sorry I'm late. But we are here. Y'all are here. And it's time to get this party started. Whoops. Hey. Doggone set. All right. Time to get this party started. Good morning. Welcome to the Tripped Out Totally Deets Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. And if I can ever get organized, we are presented by BetUS.com. Hey, sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sports book is back in our 30th year of action with live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds, boosters, props, and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service. We got it all. And when you sign up and use the code Snowman, you'll get a 125% deposit match. Log on to BETUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. As mentioned, we got Chris Dietz coming on at the bottom of the hour, and you don't know what he's going. You don't know what he's going to do, but I guarantee you, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. All right, let's get down to business. Running way, way behind, and I blame myself for that, but we are here. We are ready. Are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. Here's the whip around presented by Fanatics, and it's going to be quick. Well, the New York Jets are supposedly going to be minus a wide receiver if they're trading Denzel Mims to the Detroit Lions. Why would you want to do that? Third base coach of the Marlins, Jody Reed, broke his leg after being hit with a line drive foul ball. Man, and that's one of the dangers of baseball, whether you're a coach or a player. All the best to Jody Reed. Kahnle destroys a cooling fan in an outburst after the Yankees lost to the Angels. Again. Payne is headed to Texas as the former Sun is now headed to San Antonio, and the Suns signed Bol Bol to a one-year contract, according to the Associated Press. Sumo wrestler Hanada from Japan to play college football for Colorado State. That's going to be fun to look at. I want to see how well he does. And the Seattle Seahawks are unveiling their highly anticipated 90s throwback uniforms, complete with a silver helmet. They're going to do this for 2 games. And the former Ohio's Jackson Smith and Jigba was part of the unveiling, including posters, Smith and Jigba's room. I'm getting caught up here. Including posters of sports stars Ken Griffey Jr. of the Mariners and Gary Payton of the Seattle Supersonics. So the throwback is on. The throwback is on. Damn. Damn. And damn. Well, there's your whip around presented by Fanatics. I'm going to call an audible when y'all get back. I'll explain, and I promise I will explain. But I know what's on the slate. I know what's in front of me. But I'm going to call an audible when y'all get back. Stand by.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
CSTV will air the Big Three, and I'll call the doggone games. Ice Cube, bring your show out west, and we'll handle it. I am making a public plea right now. You want some fair coverage? CSTV will air your games, all of them, and I'll call as many as I can. We'll do a simulcast, television and radio. It's an area I know best. Television and radio. And yeah, I'm putting it all the way out there. So you know what, Ice Cube? I'll make this plea right now. Me, a small-time YouTuber, a small-time broadcaster, according to a lot of people, which I don't listen to, put your games on CSTV. Put your games on CSTV. Give us a little funding, and we'll do the rest.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Your afternoons just got better with the Brian Snow Show. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride, folks.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
It most certainly is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson on this Thursday. And here's why I'm going to call an audible. Yeah, here's why I'm going to call an audible. Because as much and as hot of a story as this Northwestern story is, and it's not done. It's not done. And it won't be done for a while because a lot of players are going to be coming out and telling their story. And I hope they all tell their story. So instead, I'm going to get Deets up here a wee bit early, and we're going to do our own version of a trademark that he started. We're going to do it here for the next 20 minutes. We like to call it the Summer of Greatness. Stand by.
Passionate.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not gonna keep him off the field tonight!
Totally.
This one has a chance!
Deets.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Here he is. The doors to Fahalia has opened, and this is Chris Deets. And we're going to get totally Deets and have our own version of the Summer of Greatness. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, Snowman. And just for everybody that tuned in and wanted to hear about the Northwest, I believe it was exactly a week ago on the Brian Snow Show, the first hour of that program, you want to know everything about the Northwestern situation, it's right there for you. And nothing has changed since then. Other than people coming out and saying their piece, but nobody has said anything. No, nobody said anything substantial yet.
No. And it's playing out exactly the way that you said it would play out. So, in the midst of calling this audible, I am going to do let's do our own version of the Summer of Greatness, and it's going to involve something that's going to lead to a cause that's very dear to me. How many stadiums have you been in? I want to have some fun with this.
How many stadiums have I been in? There's a difference between being in the stadium and witnessing a game in the stadium, because I was actually one of the first people ever to walk on Soldier Field when they redid it. I was there. I was there when they were putting the sod in. I was there for a PE convention, and we got to take a tour of the field. So we were the first people.
How did I miss you then, man? I wish I'd have met you then when they were blowing the daylights out of Soldier Field, because for that year, 2002, the Bears had to play in at the University of Illinois at Memorial Stadium,
and we did the same thing at Chase Field for the Diamondbacks.
Nice.
We were there. Nice. We were just there on family vacation when they were building it, and they were like, "You guys want to take a tour of it?" And we're like, "Sure, why not?"
Well, the most recent stadium I've conquered in the form of a tour is Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, and that was an anniversary present. So let's light up the chat, and I want the folks in the chat to tell us, as we tell y'all, our stadium experiences. This is why I want to do this, because I want to bring something up that is becoming very dear to me, and that's this right here. We're going to have some fun with Totally Deets. This is our own version of the Summer of Greatness, a popular tournament that Deets put together. But this is also highlighting a cause. And I know Cole's going to yell at me and he's going to push the button for going off the rails, but there's a reason I'm pinpointing this. So you've been in Soldier Field. You took a tour of Soldier Field and Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. What was your favorite stadium to be in to see a game?
To see a game, my favorite stadium, and it's always going to be nostalgic for me. It's Shea. It's Shea Stadium. You know, I've been to Citi Field. I will actually be going to new Yankee Stadium for the first time. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. We are doing the bachelor party for my buddy Billy. Is culminating in Yankees Astros at Yankee Stadium. So that'll be my first time going to new Yankee Stadium.
I've yet to
so I'm excited for that.
I've seen it from a distance. I've yet to be in the new house. I've been in the old house, but I haven't been in the new house.
I've seen Giants games. I've seen Giants games live from Giants Stadium. And
the old one?
I don't care what they call. No, the new one. I don't care what they call it now. It's still Giants Stadium. I don't care if the Jets and the Giants play there. It's still Giants Stadium until the Jets become a viable franchise. It's still Giants Stadium, and this year I'll be checking off another bucket list as the first game of the season. I will be in attendance at Giants Stadium to watch the Cowboys play, which I've never seen the Cowboys play live. So I'll be right there watching the Cowboys go.
Well, I've seen.
That's right, September 10th, and it's a Sunday night game. It's gonna be a blast. I can't wait.
I've seen Soldier Field. I have not only been in Soldier Field for a tour, I've also called games at Soldier Field. I've conquered Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, both seeing it and calling a game there. I didn't get to call a game at the RCA Dome, but I have seen a couple games at RCA Dome. Of course, I've seen both Comiskey Parks on the south side of Chicago. I've seen Wrigley Field, and you all know my story and unbridled hatred for Raggedy Field. Everything that is University of Illinois, been there, done that. Everything that is Northwestern, been there, done that. How about a college stadium? How about a college stadium you've been in?
I played on the field at Yale. We played high school game. We played high school games at Yale. I played on the Southern Connecticut field when my high school was getting their field done, and the team we played on Thanksgiving, they were getting their field done on the same year. So we ended up playing at Southern Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I've done both of those. Yale is funny because I went to see Yale Harvard. I never got into the stadium. We were having way too much fun in the parking lot. We never even went. It wasn't where we couldn't go in. It was where we were like, do we want to go in the game? No, we're having too much fun out here. We're like, let's just stay out. We just stayed out there. We had the game on the radio, and we were just in the parking lot, just hanging out with the guys. So that was a fun one. That's why I want to go to a lot more college stadiums, because college stadiums the game is like a break for everybody.
Well, I know.
Like everybody goes into the game when they're done partying. They're like, all right, we partied enough. Let's go in the game for a little bit, sober up, and then come back out.
Right. I know which stadium you want to see, and it's a stadium I have already seen and been in person, and that, of course, is Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. And that involves a funny story, because I was covering games for Trinity International University at the time in Deerfield, Illinois. And we were playing William Penn. We were getting ready to play William Penn College on the road, but we had to do a walkthrough. And I hear the coach say, "Is Kinnick ready for us?" And I'm asleep on the team bus. And I hear coach say, "Is Kinnick ready for us?" And I said, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" And I looked at coach, and he looked at me, and he had this wicked smile in his face. He says, "We're doing our walkthrough." And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do it at a local stadium. Didn't realize the local stadium was in Iowa City called Kinnick Stadium. So I had a chance to be on the field at Kinnick Stadium. Yes, I walked the entire field. I walked the entire field at Kinnick Stadium while they were doing their walkthrough. I paid attention when they were doing their walkthrough. But
I've seen both stadiums. Kinnick Stadium, and then, as I call it, the department store in Ames, Iowa. I've seen Iowa State, but because we used to do a family.
I've been in Jack Trice also. Jack Trice Stadium.
We used to do a family bicycle ride across Iowa, and one year one of the stops was in Iowa City, and we rode our bikes right by the stadium. So I've seen it, but I've never seen a game, and everybody knows why I want to see a game in there. Greatest tradition of all time. I just want to see that. I'll really just want to see that, and then I'll be like, all right, we're good.
Charles Ramos
watching them wave to the kids. I would almost. I don't know yet. I don't know if I would want to be in the crowd or if I would want to watch from the hospital, because I think that would be a cool thing to do.
I want to do both. I want to do both. I want to do two games.
I would love if I were ever calling a game. I said this last time we were talking about this. If I were ever calling a game live, there is no question about it. I would set everything up to just be like, we're doing it live from the Children's Hospital. We can see everything. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I'd love that. Charles Ramos Jr. joining us via LinkedIn says, I built a college stadium in Richmond, Virginia. What stadium did you build in Richmond? And then he couples it with, I also worked on the roof of the Devil Race Stadium in St. Petersburg.
Wow.
What would a game be like at Tropicana Field? Because now with the Rays being where they are, they've added a whole bunch of bells and whistles when someone hits a home run or when they win, because they got the lights flashing all over the place now. You know what I'd love to have seen at Tropicana Field? Strangely enough, a basketball game, because they had the Final Four there in '99. Of course, they had the '98 South Regional Final there. But what other stadium?
Who could forget '99? Duke UConn.
Yep. Connecticut pulling
Never
off the big
forget that one.
Connecticut pulling off the big upset. But I would love to see MSG. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I would love to have seen Boston Garden. I've only, through the power of CBS and later NBC, seen the Boston Garden.
I've seen games at Boston Garden. I haven't seen a Celtics game at TD Garden yet.
You think that would be? You think that would be a little more nostalgic now, since the Celtics do have a championship in TD Garden? TC Garden.
To me it's not the Boston Garden. It's not like the Boston Garden, and it doesn't look like the Boston Garden. It doesn't look like the Boston Garden.
No, it doesn't.
I've seen every game you could think of at Madison Square Garden. I've been to.
Really?
I can't tell you countless Big East championship games at Madison Square Garden.
What's that like?
Knicks games, like? Rangers games. The Big East championship games are fantastic. They're great. They're great. Big East tournament games are great at the Garden because you get the feeling of everybody when you're there, because there's so many people there. There's people there that obviously there's part of it, but half the crowd is rooting for one team, half the crowd's rooting for the other team. So when things are happening, you're getting the feel of when I've been there for UConn, so I'm cheering UConn on, right? But I don't have any ties to UConn, so I'm always looking at. I get the feel of everything. So my one of my favorite moments of all time is Tariq when Talik Brown, who was a point guard that if he shot a foul line jumper, it wouldn't go in. Like, he was one of the worst shooters I've ever seen in my life. And it's double overtime, and this dude just decides to jack up a half-court jump shot for no reason. And everybody in the crowd is like, no, when he starts to shoot it. The minute the ball hits the net, you hear the explosion of the crowd. And I'm just like, you were just booing this guy like 2 seconds ago before the ball went in. Right. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But that's how, when the tournament is like that, when it's a close game, there's nothing like watching a Big East tournament game.
Yeah. I've watched many on television at MSG. I want to cover a game at MSG. I would love to cover a game at MSG, be it the Knicks, be it the Big East tournament. I would love to cover some games at MSG. I just know it's
I'm sure you could get a Johnny's game. St. John's, they play there all the time. So
yeah, they do. But I want to see Carnesecca Arena too.
Yeah.
I want to see Carnesecca Arena. And that sweater that Lou Carnesecca used to have on all the time. That sweater, man. You want to talk about tradition? That's it right there. You know, one stadium I would love to have seen before they blew it up, and I was close to it one year, but didn't make the trek down to see it in person. Candlestick Park, because I went to Sacramento. I went to Sacramento in 1993, and I had a chance to go to Candlestick Park, but two problems. One, they were playing the Rams, and there was no ticket to be had. And two, it was the feature game on CBS. So there was no way we were getting in Candlestick Park that day. So we just stayed put in Sacramento and watched the game from there.
I know everybody hates it. I know everybody hates it. They hated it in Oakland. They hated it in Candlestick. They hated the infield on the football field.
Yes.
But for me, my high school field was the exact same way. We played on a baseball field. So nice. whenever I saw the NFL playing, it was the nostalgic. Like, I was like, oh, I remember playing at Quigley, and it was garbage playing on a baseball field. But the nostalgia of it, and you're never gonna see that again because everything is
specialized,
contemporary now. Everything's got to be its own thing. But it was just it was one of those things. It was just very weird to see. Like, you're like, why is there dirt? Oh wait, they're playing on a baseball field, and it was so cool. Like, you watch those old school. I talk to my guy Niners faithful all the time, and every time he comes on my show, all we do is end up talking about like 96, 95, 96. Cowboys. When you watch those games, it's so weird watching the field.
It is. And the crazy part is when I first saw a game at Candlestick Park on television.
But I love that. I love that stuff. Different kinds of fields. That's the one thing that's really weird is everybody's got like the same. Everybody's got like the same thing now.
What made it fun? What made it fun for me, seeing that, like you said, seeing the different fields. And Pat Summerall, the longtime voice at CBS, had one of the best calls ever when he said, I think Montana hit Jerry Rice on a completion one game, and he said, first down just outside third base. He said first down just outside third base. They were inside the 30-yard line. You could see the markings, even though they were marred by the infield. Yep. You gotta love that. More stadiums on the Summer of Greatness after a break. Dietz and I will talk more stadiums, and then we'll leave it to the fans to tell us their favorites, and then we'll find some way to put it to a vote. We'll be back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Your afternoons just got better with the Brian Snow Show. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride, folks.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next-level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Cause we take this job so serious.
The f*** is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies. What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
The great Wize. The great Wize. You're inside Totally Deets on this Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. And if I sound a little out of sorts, I slept late. My wife had trouble sleeping, so I had to make sure she was okay. And what do you think, Deets, is missing on my desk right now? What do you think is missing?
Cutting the coffee out.
Yep. I'm probably going to get some iced coffee later, but I'm trying to do this all natural today. We're talking stadiums, and like I said, there's a purpose behind it. I'll get to later on, but how about a dream stadium that you would love to see in person? Because I know you're going to see a Cowboys game live at the Giant Stadium in East Rutherford.
What
stadiums would you like to see live?
The dream stadium is Jerry's World. And not just because I'm a Cowboys fan, but just because the palace that they've built there is it looks amazing. I would love to see a live game there. I don't care what kind of game it is. I don't care if it's a high school, Texas high school championship game, just anything in that building. That's one of them. The other one is probably there's two other ones that are on that level, and one is Touchdown Jesus in South Bend.
Seen that one.
I'd love to see, and that one is only a Notre Dame game. Only a Notre Dame game. That's the only thing I want to see there. Because
I got lucky
because of the way they come out.
I got lucky one year. 2008. I was doing a baseball game, covering baseball for Chicago State, and they had to play at Notre Dame. Well, I was supposed to ride in and get the bus, but I was sleeping. And the coach called me and they said, "Can you meet us in South Bend?" And I looked up where the baseball stadium was, and I said, "Sure, I'll drive down there. That's no problem. That's no problem." He said, "We'll feed you, and I know the stadium will take care of you and everything. We'll let the folks at Notre Dame know that you're coming. You're going to broadcast our game." Cool. I fly down to South Bend, and rising up from the ashes is Touchdown Jesus in Notre Dame Stadium. And I said, son of a gun, I'm in South Bend and I'm on the Notre Dame campus. So I go to the game. Both teams take care of me, and I'm so grateful to them for that. I get a tap on the shoulder, and they said, "You want to see a tour of Notre Dame Stadium?" What?
Nice. You were like, yeah.
I go, hell. I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Be here tomorrow at 2:00. You're on. So I got to see Notre Dame Stadium. Now I want to see it with 80,000 people in there. I want to be in the press box with 80,000 people at Notre Dame Stadium.
The other stadium I want to see a game at is the Rose Bowl. I want to see USC UCLA at the Rose Bowl.
I want to see the Rose Bowl, but for a couple of different reasons.
Because
I
think that stadium is fantastic.
Let's light up the chat. What's a rivalry college football game y'all would love to see live? Since we're talking about stadiums, and of course it's going to lead into what I'm going to talk about with the Snowman Stadium tour here in just a moment. But I would love to see USC UCLA, and I want to see it in the Rose Bowl. I could give two damns about the Coliseum. I want to see it in the Rose Bowl. I want to see
A Pizzle just hit it. I want to see Michigan Ohio State at the Big House when the Big House is full, because 130,000 that is insane.
I've seen that game in the Horseshoe. And it was 2002 when I went to see it, when they just completed their expansion to 100,000 people at Ohio Stadium. So conquered that one. But like you, I'd love to see it in the Big House. But I hate to put myself amongst the throng of fans, so I'm going to safely sit in the press box.
I want to see it from the 50-yard line, just from down on the field, and just see what 130,000 people. That is insane.
It is.
That is insane. Like 100,000 people sounds insane to me, but 130, that's taking it to the next level.
Well, like I said, I've seen Michigan, Ohio State at the Horseshoe with 102,000 people, and like I said, this is the first year they completed their expansion when they took the track out and they lowered the field. So I've seen that one. I want to see Florida and Georgia in Jacksonville. I want to see the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
That's. I was just gonna say, if you can get in, it might be a Yale Harvard situation where you're just having more fun at the tailgate than you are going into the game.
Well, they already call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Of course, they had to clean that up. PC World decided to intercept that. But those who are in the know, those who are really invested in that game, they still call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I'd love to see USC Notre Dame in front of Touchdown Jesus. I would love to see Oklahoma, Texas at the they need to play Oklahoma, Texas at Jerry World. They need to play that at Jerry, but at the same time, it wouldn't be the same because Texas State Fair is going on.
Never always at the Texas State Fair. Always
at the
because it's always great. You have the 50-50 split. Half of it is burnt orange, half of it is Sooner red.
Yep.
It is such a good atmosphere at that is another one at the Cotton Bowl at the Cotton Bowl Stadium. I love that. I love that game. I love the Red River Shootout.
Red River Rivalry. Yep.
And we're not changing the name. It's the Red River Shootout, as they always used to say.
I want to see this one. I want to see Bedlam.
Well,
I want to see Bedlam.
You better get in line.
Yeah, I know, because
you better get in line. According to Mike Gundy, you better get in line. But I said this last time. If they take that game off the schedule, it would be the dumbest thing both schools could ever do.
Yeah, I would think they would keep it. They'd keep it on the schedule because it's Bedlam. Forget the conferences because it's bedlam.
There's no reason to take it off. There's no reason to take it off the schedule. Like it doesn't have to come off the schedule. You can play interconference games. Everyone does it. I mean, I brought them up last time. Florida State still goes on. Georgia Tech still goes on. Clemson, South Carolina still goes on. They're in different conferences. It doesn't matter. You don't have to change it. And you don't have to change it from the rivalry spot. Like I don't understand why they're doing it in the part of it should be the last game of the season.
I want to see Texas A&M.
Texas. I want to see that. I want to see that at College Station with the sixth
Kyle
man,
Field.
with the sixth man and and all of that hoopla.
And you know what A Pizzle says North Carolina State conquered that for 2 years. Conquered that one. And I might get a chance to go see it again. Here's the reason I'm bringing up stadiums in our version of the Summer of Greatness. There's a cause the reason is I am launching something tomorrow on my birthday, which is my fundraiser for the Snow Strong Stadium Tour. And what this is, my wife put this in my head. She wants me to see every stadium possible. Because when I was fighting cancer, we didn't know if I'd make it. Now that I have, she said, I know this is you and I support you and I want to take this tour with you. So with that thought in mind, I figure, screw it. Let's put it in motion. Let's put it in motion and see what we can do. Because the cause I want, the causes that I want to do this tour and raise a hell of a lot of money for is threefold. One is my family. 2 is for cancer research. And 3 is for men who've been abused in relationships. It hit me. The last one hit me last night. Now there are a few other places where I'm going to donate some money when all this is done, but I'm thinking this is going to be a 2-year tour of seeing every stadium possible on the continent, because I want to see the CFL stadiums also. Hell, I want this. If I do it right, I want this tour to end at the Grey Cup in Vancouver.
There you go.
Next year at the Grey Cup in Vancouver. So I'm going to put the link out tomorrow. It's officially, and I know I've asked Cole to make adjustments as we go with this. It's officially called the Snow Strong Stadium Tour. And I want to meet people along the way and help tell their story. And I want to put it in one big ass memoir where I meet people and I tell their story and I voice their story and I put it in an ultimate audiobook. I'm going to put it in an ultimate audiobook, ultimate vlog, whatever you want to call it. Because Tom Grossi, who I am a big fan of, did 30 for 30. And A Pizzle, it should sound familiar because the person who I'm borrowing the idea from did an incredible job with his tour with all the NFL stadiums. I want to do it also. And he raised $500,000 for St. Jude. I'm going to raise $1 million plus for cancer research and for the manpowerment movement. There's your hashtag right there.
Well, there was a guy that did that. And I forget the author's name, but he wrote a book called Fairy Tales.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we think of fairy tales, we think of like Disney fairy tales, but no, this was Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did is just sat on the Bridgeport ferry from Bridgeport to Port Jeff. He just sat in the bar and talked to people and wrote down all the stories people told him. And he put it into a book, and they used to. I believe my parents still have a copy because when we used to go visit family over in Long Island, we used to take the ferry all the time, and they were just selling this book, and we're like, "The hell is this book?" And then we started reading it. And it's like these are all stories. Like these are stories people are just telling this guy while he's sitting while he's sitting on the bar taking the ferry. He just started writing the stories down, and then he made it into a book, and they sold it and they did all their stuff with it. So it's definitely a dual. It's definitely something that's doable, and it's something that people want. People always want real tale. They want to get real stories from people.
Well, I still got a vlog to put together from the vacation that Jody and I took when we went to Branson, Missouri. I hope to work on that. I'm going to work on that this weekend and put it out there. It'll be in certain places, but I want to do this, and knowing what I've been through and knowing who I've lost due to cancer, and knowing some of the men that I know that have been through abusive relationships and abusive times, that have been homeless, I want to tie all of that together in a span of 2 years and put it all in this great big audiobook, and just use some of the proceeds from that, because there will be some proceeds. I already know it. And one of the people I want to meet, well, I've already met him in person because I did a game with him, but I'd love to hear some of his stories, is Bill Schoenig, voice of the Spurs. I had a chance to work a game with him in Charlotte with the Spurs and the Hornets, and one of the most endearing people I've ever met. And that came about, and I've seen Spectrum Center in Charlotte. That came about when we were in North Carolina, and I just got this vision of, meeting him, because we've known each other since 2014, and I've always wanted to meet him. And I said, Bill, when y'all come to Charlotte, save me a press pass because I want to meet you. And he goes, I'll go one step better. You be my statistician for the night for my Spurs call. What?
Wow.
I said, wait. I said, what? And he said, yeah. You work the game with me. You bring the stats to me and note down any stats that you can, and I'll pay you for it. You're on.
That's cool.
I told my wife that, and she says, you better take that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I don't know if I have the patience to be a statistician. I'd be like write everything down and be like, yeah, he missed. I didn't have to
write everything down, just stats of note, like who's on a big run or who did this from the foul line, just things like that, because they bring the stats to you. And what I would do is quickly compile something of note, like when
the relevant stuff.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And just come up with something when he'd come back from a break. That was awesome. A chance to meet him, and of course I had to go say hi to Sean Elliott, who was doing the Spurs television cast. And there was another fellow I met by the name of Del Curry, who of course was the TV voice.
Nice.
Is the TV voice for the Charlotte Hornets. And the play-by-play television voice for the Charlotte Hornets is a very, very dear friend. His name is Eric Collins. He and I covered high school football and basketball in Chicago. In fact, Eric Collins was on the call for Sports Channel when I did my first city championship at UIC. That's where I met him. We've been friends since then. Speaking of friends, he disappeared. I was about to bring in Cole, and he turned his camera off. Hey, get in here.
I was gonna say speaking of analysts of color commentating, we do have to mention college football is around
Yes.
the corner. We're like a month and a couple weeks away
6
from
weeks away.
the unveiling of Snowman and Fifth Down calling college football each and every Saturday.
Yes.
It's going to be a great time. You're going to learn a lot about the game, and you're going to learn a lot about why people watch college football.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to give you exactly the passion that college football needs.
Mm-hmm. We are. And we're teaming up with Mac McGee and his bunch down at WQEE. They're going to take the early portion of the day. We're going to take the middle portion of the day, 2:30 to 3, and do the 3:30 game. The only thing I wish is that we could do Oklahoma, Texas, but they usually play in the morning at the Cotton Bowl. Now, get in here. Hey, you.
Another day, another snowman addendum. I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody in the Fanatics Feedback Zone.
Will you shut up?
Good morning, Mr. Deeds.
Hey, what's up, Cole?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I warned him I was gonna call an audible, but that's Deeds. That's Chris Deeds helping us out here as he does every Thursday morning. Man, we appreciate you so very much. And man, I can't wait to start doing college football with you. It's gonna be a blast.
Before I go, I have a new ending to my segment that I want to read this quote to you.
All right.
And I have a list of quotes from one of the greatest speakers of all time, but this is a great quote.
Okay.
It's a little like breakfast. You eat ham and eggs. As coaches and players, we're like the ham. You see, the chicken's involved, but the pig is committed, and we're committed.
I love it.
The late great Mike Leach. Mike Leach quotes are absolutely outstanding. He's talking about the pig is committed. That is great.
Oh, thank you, Deeds.
I have a list of Mike Leach quotes. We're gonna end on Mike Leach quotes every segment I'm on with anybody. Mike Leach is fantastic.
I love it. Thank you, Deeds. Thank you so much.
Rest in peace, man.
All right. No problem, guys. Have a good rest of the show.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Deeds.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Say this kiddingly, you're late. And I already know why. You were swamped.
Mm-hmm.
You were swamped. I already know why. I think with the audible I called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't talk this morning. I haven't had any caffeine yet. I plan to fix that. With the audible I called, I felt it on my heart to do that. And I can just hear Cole Johnson in the background. I could see him shaking his head like he did another audible. But then he gets even with me by saying, use a troll, use a troll, use a troll. I said that use a troll. I just know this man. Hour 2 after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2, the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2, Wize El Jefe.
Oh man, I thought I missed it. What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now.
You know we're going to the Super Bowl, right? You know we're going to the Super Bowl, right?
It's hour 2 on this Thursday of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, presented by Recruiting Giants. Our mission is to connect exceptional talent with exceptional companies. Can't talk this morning. We strive to provide innovative and tailored staffing solutions to help organizations build successful teams. By leveraging our expertise and extensive network of industry professionals, we aim to drive growth, foster long-term partnerships, and positively impact the success of both our clients and candidates. We are dedicated to delivering exceptional service, exceeding expectations, and becoming the preferred staffing partner for businesses looking to recruit top talent. For more information, email Mark Zanetto at info@recruitinggiants.com or call 336-587-3659, 336-587-3659. Recruiting Giants, where talent meets opportunity. With Cole Johnson, I'm the Snowman, and we got somebody else waiting in the wings.
Yeah, yes, we do.
And now batting, the man who is ecstatic that the Yankees are battling the Red Sox for last place in the American League East. Number 420, Wize El Jefe. Number 420.
That's all right. You keep stabbing me. Every chance you get, you keep stabbing me and stab. Keep poking the bear. Keep poking the bear. That's all right.
Nice haircut, Wise.
Thank you.
See, all you need now with Cole's intro of Wise is the Yankee Stadium organ playing in the background. We don't know what tune it would be.
But see, but I requested this, and this is what I get. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So Cole's gonna keep
Cole's
stabbing
gonna
me.
Cole.
There you
go. There it is. Cole's gonna
like,
Cole.
And you remember, it's gonna be like, you remember you asked for this. Like
Exactly.
you asked for this.
Cole's acting like Cole's acting like Cowboy fan. You know we go to the Super Bowl, right?
Wow.
You know we go to the Super Bowl.
We'll see. Snowman should know.
With this party is.
Well, see, Snowman should know. I mean, after we made Vicala a star, you heard him on these airwaves say, "I need to be immortalized like Vicala."
Yes,
I was like, okay, you want it? Here you go. And Snowman Brown Lover was born.
And that happened.
And
I
so
did ask for that.
And so since Wise
I asked for that.
And so since Wise asked for a wonderful visual before he got greeted and brought onto the show, I was like, oh shit, no problem. But he'll have a wonderful, unique greeting unlike any and everybody else. Because
and all that started with us doing an impression.
Because that's how much I love my brother.
But every single one is just the stab. It's just a stab. It's a stab. Like it's like, damn, I didn't think my brother was that petty, but he's like, here you go. Like, but hey, I love my brother.
Why? Who are we talking about?
I love you too, man. But this,
I know.
But this comes from a little bit of frustration of he's actually complaining. I give him a greeting every time that's unique to everybody else.
A unique greeting.
Yes.
A unique greeting.
And I did not stab you then.
It is.
So I'm like, okay, I give you.
And I didn't ask for the audio. We just wanted a visual like everyone else. And it wasn't just me.
I know. Cool.
It was Cool McCain.
Cool got one too.
I'm saying
he has one. Yeah, Cool has one too.
So, but Cool don't get. But I get the stab. Cool don't get the stab. It's different.
It's because
every
Cool only
chance you get. If they win, you celebrate that. But every chance you enjoy more when they lose. And then they're like, "Oh, he's there in last place with the Red Sox. Here you go, hold that one." Like I know this. You're sharing information I already know.
That one.
He says, "Here you go, hold that one."
Yeah, that's how it went. It was like, "Yeah, here, hold that." I'm like, man, I already knew this information, but thank you, thank you.
It's like it's with the way Cole piles it on. It's like Wise already has his hands out for the tray. And getting the meal that he was going to get anyway, but Cole is like that evil cafeteria person that sees stuff he knows he doesn't like, and every time they hold this one, go down the line, pile this one on.
They don't know what that is.
Pile this one on.
They don't know what that is. They never experienced that.
Oh Lord!
Yeah,
you're true. That's true.
But it's like Cole finds things that just, like Wise says, pokes the bear every time. And every time Cole come up with the Bob Shepard type intro, I always, after he says "no betting," and I'm waiting for Cole to like cinch in with something.
I'm ready. I'm like, I was ready prepared. I already knew because It's anytime they lose, he lets me know. He lets me know. It could be a it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I can't be upset. I can't get upset because it's the truth. They suck. They suck, man. They are horrible.
I'll admit this.
I can't believe they're over 500. I really can't believe they're over 500.
There's still a few kids over 500.
Wait a minute. Look at Ryan. Look at Ryan's comment. I got the cuss jar ready for an
Alberto to be sure mess up. Not Alberto to be sure.
I've been good.
He said that Monday. He revealed that. He revealed that
Yes,
cuss jar.
he revealed the cuss jar on Monday.
He revealed that cuss jar on Monday. The first time he did it, Wize missed it, and then Wize put in the chat, "I missed my present." So Ryan reaches over and pulls out the cuss jar.
So
is it? I don't know. Is it Ryan? Is it for Snowman in the morning, or is it for every mentality? Because
it's a Wize cuss jar.
I'm saying because if it's for mentality, you would be collecting big time if it was for mentality.
You would be a rich man if you have a cuss jar for mentality.
Just listen. How big would that jar have to be for mentality?
Oh gosh.
Well, as of late,
it had to be a 50-story building.
At the beginning, it would have to be a big jar. It would definitely have to be a big jar. But within the last couple of episodes, I've refrained from every other word.
Look,
so I might drop one here and there.
So
from every other word.
It got to the point where now I'm watching the reels and there's a lot of bleeping going on. I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn, I kiss my mama with that mouth. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait a minute.
Do I kiss my mama with that mouth?
Wait a minute. What the funniest one for me is when y'all were getting ready to sign off one episode and Cole just floats it up there and says, "All right, Wize, do you have anything to say before we sign off?" And Wize just gets this look of glee. Yes, he has this. Yeah, that's the exact episode. And the way he paused after he said yes,
I was like, "Oh."
The way he paused, he goes, "Yes, I do," and I knew what was coming.
The grin was wide. I was like, "Oh Lord."
Listen, I've retired that.
Who Boston was he going to slay? That's what I was thinking.
Right. I've retired that. I'm no longer at war with Boston. I've promised Cole that I didn't promise Cole, but I told Cole I was retiring it. I was getting tired of the names. There was too many names. So many.
Then I better not put this up here.
This is quick. Victor says quick. Someone mentioned Dave Portnoy or Dave.
That's completely different. That's different.
That's different.
As individuals, I do not. I don't have to.
Yes.
I was just clarifying that as the city of Boston in itself, I was no longer going to attack. I didn't say anything about individuals. I didn't say I wasn't going to attack.
No, individuals. He's still going to go in on.
Good answer.
I wasn't like those two morons of the year.
Good job. And I have this problem also, and Jody has pointed it out to me. When you're about to utter a bad word, when there is a long pause, like a pitcher coming to the stretch position, when there's like a long pause, there's a cuss word coming and you got to dial it back.
when Wize came up with the FMOY, I was like, oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
The last episode we recorded, I didn't nominate nobody.
You didn't nominate anybody, right?
No. But I promise that this new episode, I will find.
You're gonna make up for it.
Oh yeah, I will make up for it because
you're gonna make up for it.
I'm sure he's gonna give me something. I'm sure he's got people ready. I'm sure he's got ready.
Oh, I'm sure Wize is going more.
It might be a lot of people in that episode that get it. So.
I think Wize is going to then make up to compensate for that.
I will never forget what I'll never forget what Wize says. When y'all did the episode with Jason Whitlock, he said, he said, "There you go, Vicala. You know what brings out Bizarro Wize? Jason Whitlock. Cole's on the floor. Cole's on the floor, dying."
Listen,
I heard that.
It's like I listen to this dude,
and I walked out the room. My wife comes in and she says, "What are you laughing at?" And she hears Wize describe his award show, and she walks out.
What's that, Wize?
It's just he. I don't know.
Yeah, we know.
Certain people. It's just certain people.
Mm-hmm.
They just say stupid stuff. Like they really say stupid, moronic stuff, and he is one of them.
Oh, Jason Whitlock is.
He is one of them.
And I have to admit,
Jason Whitless is. I don't have time.
The nickname for him is so funny.
Oh, I got names for this dude for
He
days.
said Whitless.
Yes.
He said Whitless.
Oh, and that's the tame version.
Yes.
I get it. I get it.
This dude, some of the stuff he comes up with. Again, this is all Papi.
And somehow he has it. And somehow he has his own show.
Some people don't. They just need to get punched in the face.
That's his newest one.
What's
that new punishment of yours, Wize?
They need to get punched in the face.
Because
growing up for us, like a lot of people got punched in the face growing up. Like a lot of because when you said stupid stuff, you got punched in the face.
Actually, you're right. Because when I was young and I did
no lie to be found there.
When I was young and I said some stupid stuff, my father would come with a right hook right dead to my mouth. You're right.
Listen, when we said stupid stuff, we would get punched in the face. So I think we need to go back to that. and when someone says something stupid,
wait a minute. Wize says go back to that.
Wize,
yeah. Because some people are so sensitive that if they got punched in the face, I don't know how they would react.
When we did,
how would Jason react if he were to get punched in the face with some of the stupid things for every stupid thing that he said?
I would laugh.
I'd laugh too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like. Listen, we don't encourage and condone violence here.
No.
But
no, we don't.
But when it comes to morons, you just can't help.
But when it comes to morons, you got to let them have it.
Now, when we did the George Santos episode,
oh Lord,
one of
my favorites.
That was where the jewel was born. Where he says,
"Really, bro, he has a punchable face."
And the way Wize said it was so beautiful. He was like, George Santos just simply has that face. He just has that wonderful, beautiful face, and it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and it's punchable. I'm like, wow.
Yes, he has a punchable face. He has someone that you should just
a wonderful, beautiful, punchable
face. Yes,
punchable I said, wait a minute. I said the dude is wearing glasses. You mean to tell me you would punch?
Listen, I hit people with glasses.
Yes.
I got glasses. I would discriminate.
I wouldn't discriminate either.
Ever since that episode, he has actually found ways to fit that in.
Listen.
Yeah, yes.
Listen. I don't discriminate, man. That's the difference. That's what they don't understand about us, Gen Xers, whatever y'all want to call us. We don't discriminate. Everyone is an equal opportunity. Everyone gets it. Like you will get it. It don't matter. We will hurt your feelings. We don't encourage violence, but we will take it there if we have to.
And what's scary too is we now, the Gen Xers, we're now getting to that age almost where we are straight up get off my lawn. So we remember when we were young, we would see our grandparents. They would just simply pop off and say some stuff,
but we
not care
violent.
about your feelings.
What they don't understand is we violent. We different.
No, I get that. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
We don't really care about your feelings, and then. If you want to come with the drama, we will end that drama.
We have a control.
In a minute.
You know what makes it so dangerous?
All it takes is one swing, and that drama is over.
We have a control rage within us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We will end that drama, and if we have
a control rage within us that they don't know. Right. They just don't understand. We have an anger and a rage within us that, like, we will hurt someone. And we will hurt your feelings.
Yes.
And we will break bones. We don't care. We just, it's not, I shouldn't say
And
for
the funny-
me.
And the
For
funny
me,
thing
it
is,
wasn't
and the funny thing is,
necessarily a punch. For me, it wasn't necessarily a punch. It was me because one of my favorite wrestlers was the late great Nikita Koloff, and I will deliver a Russian sickle to someone in a heartbeat. And one day I did, and shocked the hell out of my neighborhood. And they're
All
like,
it takes is one time. All it takes
Yep.
is to
All it
say
takes
one
is one.
time.
Yep.
For
One
them to see
strategic
that you're
time,
not a
yeah.
punk, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
all right, my boy, he willing to scrap. There will be other people that will test you eventually one down, but all it
Yeah.
really takes is one time for the neighborhood to see that you're willing to scrap.
Mhm.
That
Man.
Well,
no one is like, all right, they're
here's
gonna
a-
give you
here's,
props.
here's one Victor remembers. We were at Moraine Valley College, and I just got up there. I just drove up there, and someone was messing with a couple of Victor's friends, Victor's female friends, and I walked up to the guy and I said, "Look, leave them alone, or you have me to deal with." And he must have he brushed me off, and he says, "You're not going to do anything." I spun him around again, and I said, "Leave him alone, or you have me to deal with. This is your last and final warning."
And we're about peace, but if someone pushes it,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Victor steps away to get lunch,
Mhm.
and I see this guy again. Finally, I just said, screw it. And I told the young lady behind me, I said, hold this tray of food for me, will you please? And she goes, what are you about to do? I'm about to administer some justice. And as soon as the guy reached for one of Victor's friends, I spun him around and let him have it.
yeah.
Whole
My,
place went silent. Victor's mouth went through the floor, and he pulled me aside and he said, I have never seen you that angry. I said, Victor, you're my friend, and because of that, so are they. He messed with them. He messed with my ass.
Yeah. And I've been fortunate because I haven't had many opportunities to have people catch these hands.
Mhm.
But if someone will push me, they will.
Yep.
I remember when I was in a music clip.
Victor says, I did go and get lunch. Yeah, and someone got served a Russian sickle for their platter.
So I remember I was in a music clique about 15 years ago, and there was a couple of guys that was just popping off at the mouth, being real disrespectful of the whole energy in the room.
Oh boy.
And so, I was real calm, just chill until then. And so I was seeing too many of these disrespectful young whippersnappers. And I called everyone on the carpet. I'm like, look, I'm sick of this crap. Actually, I didn't say crap. I actually cursed at the
We
time.
know the word.
I said, man, if you continue this, I will invite you to step outside and we can handle it then and there. And I don't care who it is. And so, of course, I was not in my own house.
Right.
And it was to the point where I was disrespecting another Gen Xer's house. So it was like, dang, I hate to do it like this, but it needed to happen.
It needed to happen.
And so
It needed to happen.
And the guy's house I was been on, we still cool and we still tight to this day. But he got up and he was like, and he basically set the tone to like, look, we basically gonna have peace and nobody gonna be doing anything or throwing hands here. And so I respected him. I was like, this is his spot. This is his pad. I respect him. And I actually said that. I said, but the disrespect, that still stands. I have the red carpet invitation outside. I don't mind swinging. And the funny thing is, no one tested my gangster.
Good.
No one tested my gangster. Yeah.
Good. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got more stuff with Wize El Jefe and Cole Johnson. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Portions presented by SeatGeek. And I got to get some coffee. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens Podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
Man, I went home that day and talked to my wife, Vicky. And Vicky was like, "What's wrong with you? You pissed off?" "Yeah, I got this partner I'm working with back in the radio station. Man. The Negro be lying." What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Ow!
The originator of that sound, folks. Because there's no way I would have come up with that sound.
That's for some reason my wife loves it too. I don't know why. I'm like, okay.
He did that sound live on the air, and it turned into this. I have one very intellectual question when it comes to that.
Okay.
What the hell were you thinking?
That was a waste of one intellectual question. I don't know. It was just, I was just but now the L, of course, is a variation of what I did to get that sound. But
right.
I was listening to someone and I was like, it's kind of cool, but it's not the way I would do it, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I think what I heard originally was "ow," that.
There you go, and you extended it.
I extended it because I was like, that's cool, but "ow" sounds much more dynamic. It sounds better. So I remember
and then it turned into that,
and then it turned into the
and then it turned, and of course every Wednesday we wind up playing that about 50 times. Someone asked me about this off the air. This element right here.
You fool! Okay, what about it?
Someone noticed it and they said, "Where did you come up with that?" I said, "I borrowed that from Gilbert Gottfried from his appearance on Hollywood Squares."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because they kept getting the answer wrong, and Gilbert just kept cinching in and kept saying, "You fool!" So when Cole read a quote to me concerning you know who and you know what and what they would give up. I will not repeat it here because it's Thursday. I just went off for 2 minutes. And at the end of it, that happened.
Oh my gosh.
Man, oh man. All right. Can we just send some prayers to Deion Sanders?
Please.
Because he's having another surgery to remove blood clots in one of his legs. And he'll miss the Pac-12's annual media day in Las Vegas. And I know everybody was looking forward to seeing him and what he's got planned, but health has got to take priority. and from a fellow who's battled blood clots a couple of times, because I had CGF back in 2003, and that's nothing to play with, and the blood clots are nothing to play with.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, I knew about the blood clots. I didn't know about the CGF. Wow.
Yeah, 2003 when I was at my heaviest, I had to battle CGF, and it landed me in Roseland Hospital in Chicago. On Wednesday, he said the surgery would remove those clots and that he would also have surgery to straighten out 2 of the remaining toes on his troubled left foot.
Yeah.
He says, I apologize. I'm not going to be at the Pac-12 Media Day to have another surgery tomorrow. Take care of that, Prime.
Please.
Take care of that.
You know,
We'd rather see you healthy patrolling the sidelines, or if you have to do what Don Shula did when he had a bad knee, get a cart. But as long as we see you patrolling the sidelines and putting your team together, I got no issue.
You know, when we were in our 20s when Prime got it on in the NFL, and well, late teens, 20s, and you know, back then, I won't say I wasn't the biggest fan of Prime. I actually liked him, but it was more along the lines of, it's kind of cool as a secondary thing, not necessarily like I would, I would just drop my jaw to see him. You know, like well, I'll make Wize happy. Like every time I saw Lawrence Taylor, I was like, I need to watch a Giants game just for 56 in blue,
just to see 56.
Yeah, just see 56 in blue, mess up a quarterback, make a left tackle look like an idiot, and just simply steamroll over a fullback or halfback.
Thanksgiving Day, 1982. Anyone?
You know, listen, Prime. He's the one who brought the Showtime to the NFL. Really, though.
Yeah,
he's the one who brought that glamour and glitz to the NFL, because my man was doing hip hop music. He was rocking with MC Hammer. He was on Arsenio. This man was everywhere, and he was ahead of his time, man. He knew about branding and marketing. He knew about branding and marketing ahead of a lot of these players that are like he
studied part of that at Florida State.
And
he got a big assist. Yeah. He got a big assist from Bobby Bowden at Florida State because he knew the athlete that he had, and he challenged him.
He was doing that stuff in college. He actually said in the this interview right about the tail end of his NFL career. He actually said he had a black book where you normally write numbers for girls. He said he had a black book for basic sayings that he would want to say that he could just reel off. You know, I think one of them was, "You better not have me catch the ball when you punt it to me, because if you do, you're gonna hear the band play." I'm like, doggone.
Clemson, 1980. Clemson, 1988 at Clemson. I watched that game from start to finish in Death Valley.
Yeah.
The game that wrecked Clemson's national championship title hopes.
He said, "Don't punt the ball to me because you're gonna hear the band play." It's like, doggone.
And not only because of, not only was Deion Sanders. Well, Deion Sanders was in primetime well before that game, but it was one of the games that brought him to prominence. Not just him, but Leroy Butler and the Puntruski.
I was about to say, same game, wasn't it?
Same game. Same game. But Deion Sanders was well ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Well
by
ahead
the time, because by the time he got to the NFL draft, I mean, he already knew.
Listen, he knew it.
What to do and how to do it in terms of marketing himself and branding himself.
Imagine Deion in his prime having social media right now.
Well, you're seeing it. You're seeing it now.
Well, you saw it in '88.
But the only difference would be you would be entertained by all the TikToks he would do physically.
Yes. Yes. One of the funniest stories he ever told was him and Bo Jackson when Florida State played at Auburn. And
the reverence he has for Bo Jackson. Yeah.
I remember him telling this story, and Bo broke off a run, and Dion said, I had to go get Bo. I went and got Bo. And for those of you watching on the television feed for CSTV and BS3 TV, and thank you for watching, he said, and I'm going to demonstrate this. He says, I went and got Bo, but then Bo, and you just see Dion's hand like cover his face, like Bo Jackson's hand was covering his face. And he leaned him onto the side. And he said, well, Bo, he said simply, well, Bo just put hands on me.
Put hands on me.
You know, listen, Bo Jackson.
Bo Jack, man,
was a freak of nature.
Yeah, he was.
He was a freak of nature, man. He was the one. He was hitting the moon shots.
Oh yeah,
I remember. I will always remember that back-to-back home run with him and Wade Boggs. All-Star game
at the All-Star.
I'm always gonna remember that. I remember how
my gosh, he launched that ball in the dead center field, and it wasn't even. It didn't barely just.
There was no doubt. It was
no
doubt.
It was in the. It was on the center field concourse.
Yes, it was on,
when
on
it finally came down. Piece of baseball trivia: who surrendered that home run? Who surrendered that home run?
Doggone it.
89. Piece of trivia for y'all in the chat. Who surrendered Bo Jackson's 1989 All-Star Game home run?
Was it
right
Rick Russell? Was it Rick Russell?
Yes. There you go. Rick Russell.
San Francisco Giants.
Right.
Rick Russell. Listen, Rick Russell pitched for the Cubs once upon a time, and I always thought he was a junk pitcher, but it just
Rick Russell had some
good stuff. I didn't realize how good his stuff was until he got to the Giants.
He was a pretty good pitcher, man. He
was.
He had his runs.
But with Dion, he expects, and I want to see it. I want to see him run the field in Fort Worth, Texas on September 2nd.
Yeah, he's calling.
Colorado plays at TCU.
Yeah,
I want to see
it. He's just going to be running ahead of his team.
Yep. He's going to be running. He's going to be running ahead of his team.
But you know, I do have to admit this. So, like I said, you know, when he was playing, I liked him, but it was like from afar. I was like, okay, yeah, he's a good player and he's talented and he's entertaining, but no. And at first, I was like, he tossed a little too much trash for my liking. But then I had to look back. Starting with the time he was in media, where he would be on the NFL Network and be an analyst there. I realized, I was like, this guy has personality for days, and he wasn't really a trash talker. He just was a confident guy.
He was very confident,
and I was like,
he was very confident. Look at the press conference he did in '94, or the post game conference in '94 after the Niners beat the Falcons. You know, they're in the Georgia Dome. He picked off a pass and went 92 yards the other way. You know, and after the game, he said, "Look, this is my house.
This is my house."
Yeah, he wasn't lying. He built
that.
No, he
wasn't. And
built that.
That's the best part. He wasn't lying. He picked off.
And to your point, Wize, that's what made me change my mind. I was like, he wasn't trash talking. He actually was speaking facts. Like he was right when he said in that post game post game interview that this was his house in Georgia Dome. But I'm like, people actually did come to see him do what he did, and he ran a 95-yard touchdown back from an INT, baiting Jeff Joyce to throw it. I'm like, yeah, it was his house. He's right.
He wasn't lying.
I watched that.
He wasn't lying.
He's not lying.
I watched that game, and the 49er offense, of course, took most of the glory because Steve Young was busy just wrecking shop that year.
Falcons, yeah.
Second of his MVP seasons, but that defense was severely underrated.
That defense was awesome.
The defense was severely underrated after that
beatdown they took it home to the Eagles. That defense was straight the rest of the whole year.
Remember the only
time to me during that stretch where I saw the defense probably wasn't up to par was probably like the second and maybe parts of the third quarter in the NFC Championship game that year.
Yeah. And by that time, the game was so far out of hand.
But the game was out of reach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The game was out of hand. You know, it was 31-14 at halftime.
Right.
And it should have remained, from a Cowboy standpoint, and looking at this game analytically, it should have only remained 24-14. But the Cowboys screwed up on two fronts. One, they gave the 49ers extra time, and two, why did you go one-on-one with Jerry Rice?
Yes. Yeah, one-on-one Jerry Rice late in the second quarter. That made no sense to me.
Why did you go one-on-one with Jerry Rice? And Deion was a part of that team. I mean, I loved Deion at Florida State. I loved him when he was with Atlanta, and loved him with Frisco and with Dallas. Loved his career. Okay, I have no hatred whatsoever for Deion Sanders, and it's like you said, Cole. I thought he talked too much trash.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't trash talk. That was confident talk.
It wasn't.
Because we get sometimes the three of us get the same thing. And Cole, you pointed this out to me. Sometimes we get the same thing that, y'all talk too much trash. You're not that. No, we're just confident in what we do. Big difference.
It is a huge difference.
Big difference.
And to me, he was the one that made me understand how huge of a difference that was.
Yes.
So I'm like,
that did it.
If you get in to do what you do, when you actually say that stuff,
we couldn't see it. We couldn't see the greatness that is.
At the time, no, because it was at the time, no, because
a lot of us would look at it as arrogance.
Yes,
we didn't understand.
Thank you, Wize.
We didn't understand. He understood what we understand now, that it was always a mindset.
It was a mindset.
He
Exactly.
always had the mindset that I'm better than everybody, and that's the mindset you have to have if you want to be great at whatever you do. You can't think that anyone is better than you.
No,
I'm saying that's ridiculous.
Let me get this
we didn't know that. Like,
go ahead.
Now we sit down and reflect, and we look like, yo, Deion knew the secret sauce.
He did.
Long time ago.
Not only did he know the secret sauce, he had the secret sauce. Let me get this in. Looking for the best way to experience live events? SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. And beginning tomorrow, what I'm going to do for the folks watching on YouTube, I'm going to put the link in the description box. I'll forward it, Cole. I'll make sure I forward it to you so you can put it in the box. And that's for those watching on YouTube. Welcome to those listening on WIRU-DB in Chicago. Welcome to those in Baltimore on 26.7 WLEO, and our new affiliate KSHP in Las Vegas, AM 1400 and FM 107.1. And folks, if you think this is success, we got more and more and more to follow with Cole Johnson and Wize El Jefe. Getting ready to bring the curtain down on the Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. And we'll get to this. A bipartisan trio. There's your word. There's your buzzword, Cole. Of U.S. senators on Thursday are unveiling a discussion draft of a college sports bill that aims to provide a national solution to issues with athletes' money-making activities related to their name, image, and likeness. I'll stop right there, and I'll take it to Cole for his opinion on that sentence alone, because that's a fight and a half that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Look, I look at it this way. So NIL, when it comes to the college game, is now, I would say, a buzzword, but it's basically a buzz acronym. And of course, for those who don't know, N is name, I is image, and L is likeness. So that's a buzzword. And then when you have this issue, which seems to cause a stir, and it's reach up to Capitol Hill.
It's an issue. It's an issue.
It is a big issue, and it reaches up to Capitol Hill. You normally get about 2 or 3 of them, either senators or representatives. In this case, it's senators. They'll sniff it, and they'd say, "Oh, okay.
How can we make money off of it? How can we make our cut off of it?
Right. We might have something here because we can make money off of it too." Thank you.
Yep. Yep, and it's
Everyone has to
it's a
pay the
forever
piper.
fight.
Everyone has to pay the piper.
Yeah.
Everyone has to pay the piper.
Now,
so they're not trying to hear these young kids making all this money.
No.
And not give Uncle Sam their cut.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
They're not trying to hear that.
That can't happen. That can't happen. That the kids are making more. That the kids are making more than the senators.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
I was gonna, because I know they're saying to themselves, Angel Reese made more than $1 million last year. No, we can't have that. So
when they put the bill, when they first put the bill in place, they had the states govern their own bills. Now they want Capitol Hill to get involved with all of this, or as Cole says, all this.
And the thing is,
that's why I said we need to get all those old people out of office because.
Yeah.
The thing is now it's to the point where the NCAA, which we all know, not just the three of us, but the Fanatics Feedback Zone, those who are listening, watching, we all know they don't want to part with a dime, a nickel, a penny. They don't want to part with anything. And so they dragged kicking and screaming to have NIL actually happen in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Now they actually might have to come out of pocket to pay Washington to shut up too. Oh man!
Oh hell no!
This is a real dark day for the NCAA.
According to Victor in the chat, there is a massive 3-team trade in the works, and it has to deal with Stay Puff Harden. Keep on that, Victor. Keep on that. Good answer.
Who they trade? What's the trade? Harden, a hoe, and a
nightclub.
And a strip
nightclub. Who would want that? Who would want that deal? All right, so I didn't want to touch this earlier in the show, but we'll touch on it briefly here.
Okay.
It's a mess in Evanston.
It's an unfortunate mess there.
It's an unfortunate mess, and I went completely off on this yesterday. What's up, Rising Rhino? I went completely off on this yesterday, which is partially the reason why I called an audible today. But since it's the feature, we'll touch on it here.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, and thank you for the brilliant thumbnail, Cole. It's a tradition. It's a time-honored tradition, and I will just add I will add this note on it. I said it yesterday, and I will say it again today. Pat Fitzgerald, as much as I loved you as a player, this is your fault. You were in charge of this team for 17 years, and you did nothing. Nothing to stop it, or what's the word I'm looking for? Prevent it. Because for almost 2 decades, hell, since the days of Gary Barnett, and I said this yesterday, how far do two investigations are now being launched? Do you have to trace this back to the Gary Barnett days?
Oh my!
Because remember, without Gary Barnett, we don't know Pat Fitzgerald.
Pat Fitzgerald. Wow, that far back?
Think about it.
And not just 3 decades ago.
No. How far do you have to trace this back?
Oh wow!
I wanted to be sure I get this in because I know you put it on the slate. I called an audible for a reason because I know how much time it would take up, and I didn't want to completely eliminate this from what you put on the board this morning. But I'll say it again this morning, like I said it yesterday. How far back do these investigations need to go? Because the first person you need to investigate, and if you think about how he left.
Yeah, he left under scandal.
Investigate is Gary Barnett.
Yeah, he left under scandal, if not I'm mistaken, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah. 1999. And then do you have to comb back the do you have to comb back the Randy Walker era? Was it going on then too? Because who was his defensive coordinator?
Gary Barnett.
Pat Fitzgerald.
Oh, that's right. Pat Fitzgerald was okay. Well,
Pat Fitzgerald was their defensive coordinator. How far back do you have to peel this onion? You had to, I really believe, and I hope I'm wrong when I say this, but you may have to peel this back to the Rose Bowl days. You may have to peel this back to the Rose Bowl team.
So this would be 95. Okay.
95. And it's unfortunate, but Pat Fitzgerald, this is your fault. You did nothing to stop this. You did nothing to prevent this. And the worst part of all, you did nothing to eliminate this. This is your fault, Pat Fitzgerald. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm a Northwestern fan, but the facts are the facts.
And you're a huge Pat Fitzgerald fan.
Yes, I am a huge Pat Fitzgerald fan, but the facts are the facts. This is your fault, Pat Fitzgerald. When you shut down the possibility of a union with your players and had a chance to stand with them, you stood against them and shut it down. You shut it down. 2014, look up the name Kane Coulter.
So what's your thoughts on this, Wize?
Listen, I don't, it's to me, it's happened. This is something that's not new to sports. It's to college sports. This is something that's been going on for
many moons,
way before us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this is something that's been going on, and it's gotten to the point where it's just degrading, and some of the things that they do to some of these players and some of these whoever, even pledging and all, it's sad.
Yeah.
There are some messed up people in this world that do stupid stuff, and it's just sucks because parents send their kids to this coach because they feel like this coach is going to protect them, and he's not. All they care about is winning. It's winning. It's not about the kids. It's all about the winning for them.
Yeah.
So that's why when they talked about the NIL, I want that because I want these kids to get paid because these colleges are making billions and billions off these kids.
And before the NIL, the kids were making Nathan. Yeah.
Now they want
to. They were making schools millions by themselves, just by just the athlete, him or herself, and they weren't getting a penny.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous, but
it's ridiculous. It's sad and it's sick.
What's making this feel even sicker than usual? Hazing, yes, that's something that goes on, and of course, I touched on this last week about how in the military they were trying to tamper that down when I went to basic, and that was 30 plus years ago. But way back when, I mean, there was hazing. I mean, they would tease about locker parties, and what was that? Well, that would be whenever you would do something foul to the whole unit. And for those who saw Full Metal Jacket, that's exactly what would happen. One night you'd go to sleep. The rest of the unit would not even involve the drill sergeant, but the rest of the unit will talk things over, and one of the squad leaders will wake everybody else up, take a blanket. One private would hold down one side, the other private hold down the other. Well, everybody will stuff a sock with lockers and just will hit the guy who's in the bunk as hard as he can, sometimes 2 or 3 times, with the sock stuffed with a lock in it, just to teach him that you shouldn't screw over the unit. That was something that the Army wanted to just simply do away with altogether. And what is unfortunate here is you have the and I think Wize said it, you have this already in the colleges with fraternities and sororities. I mean, hazing is a part of pledging, so you have that culture there already. Then you already have the culture, the machismo culture that exists in sports anyway. Some which is great. I mean, I will never complain about it because I mean, I played in sports, and it's great because it does teach you toughness, and it teaches you resilience, and it teaches you perseverance. Those are great to have in terms of a learning lesson, a building block. But some of those lessons that they teach you is a bit on the hazing side, and that isn't something that's a building block.
Yep.
So you have that in the school, and then you throw on top of it racism charges too. And then you have a legal eagle like Ben Krupp come in and take charge of this. So it's to the point where you now have a civil rights lawyer who is in charge of gathering ex-Northwestern players to say, this is what went down, this isn't right. And you would think that in a city like Chicago, because Evanston is a northern suburb of Chicago, where, yeah, you have some racial history, some racism history, but for the most part, Chicago paints itself as a racially diverse culture. To have that charge along with the hazing, that is a huge slap in the face to the program, the university, and to the area that comprises of Northwestern.
And that, like I said, that just sickens me.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta go. Tomorrow is Friday. It's gonna be a crazy Friday, and y'all know what happens during the second hour of said Friday. Want to sponsor this program? Drop an email to snowmanmultimedia@gmail.com. That's snowmanmultimedia@gmail.com. Please subscribe to the channels of Wize El Jefe and Cole Johnson. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
then they are simply not big enough.
Dream big, do bigger. We hope y'all are too. We're out of here. See you tomorrow, folks.
And align yourself with dream crushers like Brian and Wize. You do your life a good world of good.
Much appreciated.